All right, pegboard time. I got this pegboard to keep things organized so that I can see where everything is. I watched a number of videos and guys organize these. This is a set of channel lock open-ended wrenches. They don't go real big. I got the sets a number of years ago. A couple things that I don't really like about them is that there's zero offset on the box end side. To be honest with you, I kind of think they're junk. I try to use them because I have them, but I usually find that I wish there was at least a 5-degree offset. Same thing with the metric, literally no offset there at all. Makes it a little more difficult to get into tight spots or even working up against a fender. Actually putting together the Harbor Freight tool cart, I thought, oh, this would be a good idea, to use those on there because they have the ratcheting action. I found it more difficult than anything to get in there with it. So I have another set I'll show you in my main toolbox that's a lot nicer. I kind of upgraded them. They have the offset on them, which makes it really nice. The old S wrench, excuse me, the S wrenches. I always see these at Harbor Freight, and I thought, well, I'm gonna buy them one of these days when they go on sale. Well, they never went on sale. I just ended up using a 20% coupon 2 separate times to get both the metric and the standard, and they work for me for what I need. Don't use them all that often. A little bit of a screwdriver rack here. I just keep some stuff that I grab all the time. Once again, I tend to keep kind of my more, I guess, cheaper tools out. So I can grab them and kind of, beat on them a little bit if I need to. Seal puller that I got, another little Harbor Freight find. I like to keep my level, all my measuring stuff for carpentry out here, my T-square, all those types of things. And I also like the dead blow hammers. I have a few different sizes. I think I have the other one, like giant one. That's pretty helpful. Comes in handy to beat things around. I've used on some landscaping projects and whatnot. Some small cutters, more precision needle nose pliers. Gotta have WD-40, and then some more WD-40. And I'm sure I have a few other cans around here. I like to keep some extra lights. I have a next door neighbor that's a conductor for a train company, and he gave me one of those. These are actually engineer lights, and they work really well. They have this handle that can move, and you can actually set them up more like a lantern. So I always like to talk about those. They're pretty unique when I'm showing people around. I like to use these DeWalt holders here. What I typically do is I use them for bit holders. You can see I got a bunch of different bits in there. I keep some in the back. I am sure that I have so many bits that I could use one bit for every screw for the rest of my life. People always tell me that. A couple little kits up here. This is a Precision, Cobalt Precision, cutter and plier set. This is a little general X-Acto knife set. Got my torch. A couple of speed squares. I used this leak seal on my gutters about 3 years ago, and I've not had one leak since, so I highly recommend it. Spray adhesives, little liquid wrench. This is where I keep a little hanging tool bag that I use that I found very helpful. This tool bag I keep hanging on the wall, and it's where I throw tools that I need every once in a while. I want them to be handy, but I want to remember that I have them and I can see them. I throw, dikes, long needle nose pliers, box cutters, extra tape, a little multimeter I use every once in a while. I throw that in there, and I find that it's just easier to grab the tool bag and go. One of my thoughts about this channel was a long time ago I started this little practice of buying tool bags for different trades. And what I mean by that is having a tool bag for electrical work, having a tool bag for carpentry, having kind of maybe a toolbox for more plumbing needs, things like that. And I thought what I'd do is at some point when I'm done doing the toolbox tours, I could start doing tool bag tours. I probably have enough of them to make at least 5 different parts. On the main pegboard wall, you can kind of see I keep things up high that I'm not using a lot, like a bow saw, some some, Japanese style pull saw, duster for the vehicle. I like to keep all my gardening supplies up top. The push broom, little squeegee for the when I'm trying to work in the garage and there's water from the rain. All my gardening tools. Love the heat gun. I only use it a couple times a year. It works great for that. Same thing with the battery tester. I don't know how accurate it is. I know every time I use it, I smell burning paint. So I don't know if that's the electronics or if that's just me not using enough to burn off the kind of new charger smell, I guess you'd call it. I keep some aluminum wire for when I need something kind of, durable that I need to either bind something with or, hold together a little bit for some gardening around the house. I try to keep my fishing tape up there, hatchet, a couple of crescent wrench adjustable crowbars, but they also have these little heads on them, and I'll do a separate video, but they actually adjust up and down. I'm not sure if I can do it with one hand here, but the whole idea, and I can't get it with my hand, but the whole idea is that if you're doing some construction or something along those lines, they have increments on them, and you can adjust the head. Oh, there we go. So you can adjust the head to wrap around a 2x4, 2x6, and you can reef on them just a little bit to adjust it, get it straight in line with what you're trying to do. And they work really well. I've actually got this one and a little bit longer one as well. I'll show you that here in just a second. I've got my pipe wrenches, some ratcheting pipe wrenches, which are these little guys down here. As you work with these are kind of cool in the fact that as you turn them around, the head opens, and then as you turn it the way you need it to, they close, so it's self-adjusting. I thought those are cool. These are actually, I went to a garage sale one day, and a guy was selling them for like 10 bucks. And I told him I'd give him $1 a piece, and he's like, okay, that sounds good. I kind of felt like I was taking advantage of the deal, but it's a garage sale. You gotta find the deals. Couple of 100-foot tape measures. I got this when I was doing some fence work. I bought one of those really long pry bars from Harbor Freight at some point in the past, and never found a need for one quite that long. You can kind of see how long it is. I think it's 36 inches. And I also bought these construction screwdrivers from Harbor Freight. They're pretty burly. They have the strike head on the top of them in case you ever need to get down. They have like some square frame construction. I kind of like those. I do keep a couple of grease guns down here. Haven't had a lot of opportunity to use them, but I've got them if I need them. Keep my protractor, my tri-squares, things like that I use for when I'm doing more kind of delicate woodwork. I don't do a lot of metal work, but they work really well for wood. And then I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here and move my recycle bin so I can show you a little bit more. All right, so you can see down here as I get towards the bottom of the pegboard wall, I've got another long pry bar. I've got the really long crescent adjustable head. I think they call those a foo bar. That's a name brand that Stanley uses, I believe, but it's basically the same thing. What's nice though is this one's adjustable in increments, and you really can get it open quite a ways. So a 4x4 will fit in there if you need it to reef on it just a little bit. And then I have one of these deck bars. It's meant to, not have to bend over as much when you're pulling nails out of a deck or whatnot. It also works really well to use for demolition, construction. So I like having that for if I need it. And other than that, that kind of wraps up the pegboard wall area. If you guys have any questions about any specific tool, let me know. I'll be more than happy to kind of answer a question or let you know how I feel about it. And after this, I think that I'm gonna jump into my main toolboxes. You guys let me know if you think that it's better just to have the video going through the tools and not talking. That's cool. I'm just getting used to how to film content, and I stumble my words a little bit, but all in the spirit of learning, I guess. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And just wait for the next video. That sounded weird. That is not what I meant at all. What I meant to say is thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.